as a little boy, I used to see spirit all the time, just like in the movie The Sixth Sense. Remember the movie The Sixth Sense? That was my childhood. Could you imagine? So that was my childhood. I used to see spirit all the time, and I used to see lights around people, colors around people. I used to know things about people. And I remember I was 7 years old, and I was saying prayers with my mom, because I was raised Catholic, Roman Catholic, very Catholic, Mass every day. I was going to be a priest, too, which, of course, past life stuff. But it was fabulous for me. I wouldn't be where I am today without that experience. And I remember asking my mom, I said, who are those people at the end of the bed? She said, them? I said, yeah. She said, those are God's angels. You see them too? When I was a little girl, I used to see them all the time. They'll always be with you. You don't need to fear them. They'll always take care of you. So you can imagine a 7-year-old kid had that validation right away. Kind of cool. But of course I chose that as a soul. That was my soul blueprint. But really, really amazing when you think about it, to have that empowerment as a 7-year-old. But then I went to my parochial school. I went to my homeroom teacher one day, and I walked right up to her and I said, your son, he's going to be okay. He broke his leg, but he's going to be okay. And she said, what? She said, go back to your seat. Of course, it was, let's say, I was 6 years old, so I was probably this tall. It's a joke. You can laugh. Trying to bring some light into the room. Light. I'm trying to enlighten. Okay. So 5 minutes later, the principal came in and took her out of the room. And several minutes later, she came back into the room and she said, James, come here. And I said, yes. And she said, how did you know that? I said, what? How did you know my son broke his leg? I said, she said, he was playing soccer and the ball rolled into the street and a car hit him, but he just broke his leg. And I started crying my eyes out. I started crying because I thought, because I had that thought, I created that situation to happen. I know. Amazing manifestation at 6 years old. So I was a little kid. And whatever she told me, I mean, obviously she was meant to be in my life, a very important role in my life. Because she said to me, James, God gives certain, whatever she said to a 6-year-old, I don't know the exact wording, but to the effect of, James, God gives certain people certain abilities or whatever she said, or knowingness. And she said, maybe one day you'll use that to help people. And that was it. That was the beginning of it. And then I'm telling you, I used to see things all the time. In my first grade class, I saw a boy come through the window, just like right here, right through the window. He was wearing Civil War soldier outfit. And I knew I was in the Civil War, and I was 6 years old when this happened, when he came to the window. My Catholic school days. And I'm there, and listening. Are you in the history lesson? No. But I remember he showed me a design, and it was really, really interesting. It was a design of diamonds all together, and now, of course, I know it was a matrix. And he said to me, you're not going to understand this now, but remember later when you get older, this will make sense to you. And I never forget it. And this is really trippy. Are you ready? Trippy. Okay. So I wrote my book, Growing Up in Heaven, which is on the bookstore. And it was a book. This is really weird how I write my books. I don't write them. They write them. I mean, I just am there in the vessel. And one day I was in my office. Unbelievable. And these children are running around. Kids. I'm like, what are kids doing here? Like, what's going on here? And I was like, a little freaked out. I talked to dead people, but I was a little freaked out with the kids because I didn't know why they were here. And my 2 guides said to me, they're going to help you write your next book. I'm like, okay. And it ended up being a book about children who pass over, for parents who lose children, really for everybody, who about the other side of life, what this all happens to the soul and so forth. And I remember toward the very end of the book, all of a sudden I had a flash very clearly, and it was that design that I was shown as a little boy, and I knew that that was the soul matrix, the imprint of the soul, that was the design. So I put it in the back of that book. It's pretty trippy. And I've been using it in my course also to talk about the soul. And we did a lot of clearing work, healing work, where you take away other people's thoughts and energy from your field that get caught up in the matrix. Think of the matrix as a spider web, if you will. And that people's thoughts, remember, thoughts are things. Thoughts are like bullets. They go right to the intended target.